Tim Ritenour, super notorious, more like super stupid.
Yeah, he's someone I'd like to forget about.
No, I haven't seen him for years. He knows better than to show his face after what he did.
This week on Notorious, Tim Baby Cakes Ritenour. Tim Ritenour grew up in a lazy suburb of Chicago. But lazy suburbs bring boredom. It wasn't long before he had begun a life of crime.
Ritenour? Yeah, I know him. I know him well, but he wasn't Ritenour back then. Called him Little Timmy. Little bastard, really. Comes by my first birthday party. I've got this big cake my mom picked out. Man, I'm shaking just thinking about it. That son of a bitch. I'm eating my cake, and he comes over and says, "Hey, I think you're eating my cake." I'm like, wow, this guy's got balls. So I say, "Oh yeah?" So he kicks my ass right in front of all my friends and parents.
After running away from home at the age of 3, he honed his arts of mayhem under the tutelage of a creepy guy he met in a van.
So I would take the boys in, and I would teach them how to knock off convenience stores. And then Tim rolls in, or should I say stumbles in. And the guys loved the way he would go into the store.
We own this little store. It's a little Windy City stop-and-go store in Chicago. I was behind the register, counting the invoice, when I hear a ding and a ka-ding-ding-ding. He literally knocked over the entire convenience store.
The last time I saw him was when he took all of my guys, the guys that were working for me, and started his own band of merry convenience store knockoff guys.
Like in all things, the student had become the teacher. Tim and his merry band knocked off every convenience store. But his thirst for power was not satisfied. Tim needed more, and he found it in the world of illegal narcotics.
Tim's notorious in the drug trade. He's been on the forefront of everything that's come through. Crack cocaine and the methamphetamines, we were doing that, and we were making good money. But he never seemed like he could fulfill himself. He started talking about this new drug he was thinking about inventing. It was a drug, he said, that would make people smarter so that they could conversate with him. He just seemed so lonely. No one could really be on his intelligent level. So the conversations would never be up to par to what Tim would want. He finally got some chemicals together that he thought might be able to make the people smarter with the drug, and we worked for months and months and months. Did some testing at a small town back east on these rats. And the rats got really smart. But they escaped one day, and they moved up into this rose bush out back, we're pretty sure. And that's how Secret of Nymph came to be. And Ratatouille.
Luck finally ran out for Tim Ritenour when a dirty rat turned him in.
Well, I don't know how familiar you are with, the prison system, but, every prison has its alpha male character, its main guy who basically, he runs the prison. He's the prisoner. This was Tim Ritenour. So, yeah, you want to know about the riots in 2004? Ritenour started it. Basically, no one slept for 5 days. Everybody was... There was so much blood.
That bloody riot was all Tim needed to escape. He fled to LA, home of every miscreant, addict, and great dive bar. There, he buddied up to this doorman.
This love of mine from Lake Winnipesaukee, I brought her out here to enjoy this bar one night. Walked into the bathroom, and what do I see? Tim had her bent over the toilet bowl. Tim looked at me and he's had this look of, I really don't care, dude.
We met at a bar, and he bought me a drink, that usual stuff, and then after that it was, let's get married, we're together forever, we're soulmates.
She was a virgin, man. He stole that from her. He stole it from me.
I'm Tim's girlfriend. He is my man.
Tim gets what Tim wants. This interview's over, man. Shut this off. Shut it off.
I don't believe all this notorious stuff that y'all are talking about, like he's this bad person. No, I'm telling you, he is a good, God-fearing man, okay? He's a saint. He's my Saint Timmy.
You've heard the story of the Grinch who stole Christmas? Well, Tim is the Irishman who stole St. Patrick's Day. It's a big day, especially for the Irish bars, and we make about 70% of our revenue that night. I mean, the place just gets packed. So the night beforehand, Tim, not just this bar, but I mean bars all across the world, he shows up and he stole all the Guinness, all the Smithwicks, all the Baileys, Jameson, all the Irish whiskey, Irish beer, just every drop of it. It started Irish riots all over the place. We were stuck serving people Coors Light, Colorado Kool-Aid on St. Patrick's Day. It was horrible. The people were just, devastated. There was kilts being thrown everywhere, and there was tam o' shanters in the air, and an Irishman should never have to be dry on St. Patrick's Day, or worse, go to Hooters, as it turns out, and he ruined St. Patrick's Day, he stole it. And at the end of The Grinch Stole Christmas, the Grinch, his heart grows, he gives back everything, there's singing. Not so with Tim. He didn't give any of it back. He never returned it. His liver grew blacker and blacker, and that grew 3 sizes too large.
The day that Tim stole St. Patty's Day, it was, well, I don't know if miracle is the word you would use, but it was amazing. Do I know how he did it? Well, I'm his accountant. I know many things. Can I tell you? Client, accountant, confidentiality. Absolutely not. Anyways, we had more beer. We filled up my pool with Guinness. It was crazy. Good old Tim. Every once in a while, he gets it right.
As far as I'm concerned, you can steal St. Patty's Day because I'm Italian. I really don't give a shit about Irish people.
You never want to tell Tim that he's clumsy. He is. He's the fucking clumsiest guy I know. But you never want to tell him that because he will fuck you up.
Tim Ritenour, one of my favorite students. I never thought anyone would master the clumsy Cobra Kai. And he makes it look like sweet, sweet broken poetry in motion.
I once saw him trip over his own ear.
Our motto, strike hard, strike fast, no mercy.
The one time that I invited Tim into my house was for this great toga party.
It was supposed to be a fun little festive gathering, and it's my fault.
When I was a rookie, I heard about him. Something called the Toga Party Massacre.
That toga party was going to be like our crown. I mean, we used to have a lot of good parties. So I met Ritenour here at this bar, and he seemed like a great guy. The first time he was really fun, outgoing, loud, and I said, well, why don't you just come on over, and we're gonna have a little party. It's a toga party, and it'll be fun. And everybody was wearing togas, and he showed up, had a few drinks, and I think 6 people died there.
That son of a gun is a toga party. Someone said something about something. He pulled out a gun and shot everybody.
After he killed everybody, I was standing there, holding my wife, and he came up to me, dropped the gun, shook my hand, and walked out the door.